So the reverse Carnot cycle in case of the refrigerating machine gives maximum performance in the refrigerating machine, that is the minimum requirement of work for given cooling in given temperature range is possible with the help of the reversed Carnot cycle. Before we study the reversed Carnot cycle, let us study the unit of refrigeration. Let us try to know what is the unit of refrigeration. So the unit of refrigeration is nothing but 1 ton of refrigeration. Actually the unit of refrigeration should be similar to the unit of heat, say maybe some kilojoule or kilowatt, something like that. But here, since that unit is a small one, commercially we are using ton of refrigeration as the unit of refrigeration. It is denoted by TON or TONN or TOR also. So that is the unit of refrigeration. Let us study the definition of this unit of refrigeration, that is 1 ton of refrigeration. Let us take 1 ton of water at 0 degree centigrade. Now this 1 ton of water at 0 degree centigrade is converted into 1 ton of ice at 0 degree centigrade. So 1 ton of water at 0 degree centigrade is converted into 1 ton of ice at 0 degree centigrade in 24 hours. The time required for this conversion is 24 hours. But how this conversion is possible? In order to make this conversion possible, heat should be removed, heat should be absorbed at some rate Q0 from 1 ton of water continuously for 24 hours. Heat should be absorbed at some rate, at some constant rate Q0 continuously for 24 hours. Then only it is possible to convert 1 ton of water which is at 0 degree centigrade into 1 ton of ice at 0 degree centigrade. So this rate at which heat should be absorbed from 1 ton of water so as to convert it into 1 ton of ice at 0 degree centigrade within 24 hours, that rate of heat absorption, that rate of heat removal is defined as 1 ton of refrigeration. Now this 1 ton of refrigeration can be converted into kilowatt like this. 1 ton of refrigeration is equal to 211 kilojoule per minute or 211 upon 60 kilojoule per second, that is 211 upon 60 kilowatt means 3.5167 kilowatt. That is the conversion of 1 ton of refrigeration into kilowatt. Now we are coming back to study the Carnot refrigeration cycle. What is the Carnot refrigeration cycle? The Carnot refrigeration cycle is nothing but it is the cycle which will help us to obtain the maximum performance of the refrigerating machine. So it is obvious that one would like to obtain the desired cooling by supplying minimum work, and for this we have to use the Carnot refrigeration cycle or the reversed Carnot cycle. Now the reversed Carnot cycle is not a practical cycle. So the Carnot refrigeration cycle is a completely reversible cycle, hence is used as a model of perfection. It is used as reference against which the real cycles are compared. So the Carnot refrigeration cycle is not a real cycle, but it can be referred, it can be used as a reference. So our real cycle should be as close as possible to the Carnot refrigeration cycle. Then we can have the maximum performance. We cannot go beyond that. Our performance cannot be better than Carnot cycle, but our performance can be as close as possible to the Carnot cycle. Then we can say that our cycle is a good one. So the Carnot refrigeration cycle is a completely reversible cycle, hence it is used as a model of perfection for a refrigeration cycle operating between a constant temperature heat source and sink. As shown in the figure, the basic Carnot refrigeration system for pure vapor consists of four components: the compressor denoted by C between 1 and 2, then the condenser also denoted by C between 2 and 3, then the turbine between 3 and 4 denoted by T, and again the evaporator denoted as T between 4 and 1. So these are the four components for the Carnot refrigeration system. In the Carnot refrigeration system, this is the TS diagram. We have seen that now the process 4.1 is very important. What happens in the evaporator is that the evaporator will absorb the heat from the surrounding. The refrigerant which is flowing through the evaporator will absorb the heat from the surrounding and the refrigerant will evaporate. At point 4, the refrigerant is a mixture of liquid and vapor, but mostly it is liquid. So this liquid refrigerant gets evaporated into vapor in the evaporator, and heat is required for evaporation. This heat of evaporation is absorbed from the surrounding space, and thus the surrounding space is cooled. This heat is denoted by QE. So that is nothing but the refrigerating capacity or the refrigerating effect provided by the refrigerating machine. Here it is the Carnot refrigeration cycle. Now next process 1-2, during the process 1-2, compression of the refrigeration take place. So the pressure increases from the evaporator pressure to condenser pressure, and the temperature is also increased. Now the increased pressure and temperature refrigerant goes to the condenser where it will reject the heat. So cooling is done, cooling of the refrigerant is done in the condenser, where due to cooling the condensation of the refrigerant takes place. The refrigerant will condense from vapor to liquid during the process 2-3, and the process 3-4 is nothing but the expansion process. This expansion takes place in the turbine, and according to the Carnot refrigeration system, we can obtain some positive work also during this particular expansion, that is during the process 3-4. And now after expansion some flashing is also there, that means some refrigerant is directly converted into vapor from liquid during expansion, but most of the refrigerant remains in the liquid form. So this liquid again evaporates in the evaporator during the process 4.1 and absorbs the heat. So due to the absorption of heat by the refrigerant in the evaporator, we get the cooling effect. So this heat is absorbed from the heat source, and the heat is rejected in the condenser to the heat sink, which is nothing but the atmosphere. But remember here that the temperature of the heat sink is higher and the temperature of the heat source is lower. This is the enlarged view of the TS diagram. Let us study the reverse Carnot cycle in steps. So first of all, you should know what is a cycle, and for that purpose you should also know what is a process, and before that it is necessary to know what is the state or condition. So the state or condition of a substance is nothing but a set of properties of that particular substance. The condition or state of a substance is defined by a set of properties, and that is nothing but represented by a point on the graph. The graph may be something like PV diagram or the TS diagram and so on. So on this graph, on this PV plane or the TS plane, that point, say for example point 1, it represent the condition or state of the working substance. Say in this case the working substance is refrigerant, so the condition or state is represented by one point. Now the process is nothing but process is represented by a line. For example, this line 1, 2 represent one process. So point 1 represent the initial condition, point 2 represent the final condition during the process 1, 2. So when the condition or the state of the substance changes we say that the substance has undergone a process, and if you join the 2 points which represent the 2 conditions of the uh, mm, substance, that is the initial condition and the final condition, the line joining these 2 points is nothing but that line represents the process. And a set of processes in a particular sequence such that the initial condition of the first process and the final condition of the last process is same, that is nothing but a cycle. So a cycle is nothing but a group of processes in sequence such that the initial condition of the first process and final condition of the last process is same. For example, in this case you can see that 1 2 is the first process and point 1 is the initial state or condition of the first process 1 2, and 4 1 is the last process. Again point 1 is the final condition of the last process 4 1. So this is nothing but a cycle. So we are going to study the reversed Carnot cycle. The reversed Carnot cycle here is plotted on the PV diagram and the TS diagram. And what are the various processes in the reversed Carnot cycle? Let us study. We have already seen that reversed Carnot cycle is the reversible cycle, because each and every process in this cycle is reversible. All the processes are ideal, they are not practical, therefore the cycle is also ideal, it is not practical, but it is very useful as a reference, as a standard. Therefore we must study this cycle, that is the reversed Carnot cycle. So let us study the various processes one by one. The first process 1 2 is nothing but the reversible isentropic compression process. The second process 2 3 is reversible isothermal heat rejection by the refrigerant. The third process 3 4 is again reversible isentropic expansion of the refrigerant. The last process 4 1 is nothing but reversible isothermal heat absorption by the refrigerant. Let us revise these 4 processes. Process 1 2 reversible adiabatic isentropic compression. Process 2 3 reversible isothermal heat rejection. Process 3 4 reversible adiabatic isentropic expansion. Process 4 1 reversible isothermal heat absorption. So these are the 4 processes which are present in the reversed Carnot cycle. Let us talk something more or revise all the things we have studied regarding the reversed Carnot cycle. The low temperature, low pressure vapor is then compressed isentropically in the compressor to the heat sink temperature Tc. The refrigerant pressure increases from PE to PC during the compression process 1 2, and the exit vapor is saturated. Next, the high pressure, high temperature saturated refrigerant undergoes the process of condensation in the condenser, that is 2 3 process. As it rejects the heat of condensation Q2 3 is equal to QC to an external heat sink at temperature Tc. The high pressure saturated liquid then flows through the turbine and undergoes isentropic expansion, process 3 4. During this process, the pressure and temperature fall from condenser pressure to evaporator pressure and condenser temperature to evaporator temperature, PCTC to PET. Since a saturated liquid is expanded in the turbine, some amount of liquid flashes into vapor and the exit condition lies in the two-phase region. This low temperature and low pressure liquid vapor mixture then enters the evaporator, completing the cycle. Thus, as shown in figure, the cycle involves two isothermal heat transfer processes, process 4.1 and 2.3, and two isentropic work transfer processes, process 1.2 and 3.4. Heat is extracted isothermally at evaporator temperature TE during process 4.1. Heat is rejected isothermally at condenser temperature TC during process 2.3. Work is supplied to the compressor during the isentropic compression 1-2 of refrigerant vapor from evaporator pressure PE to condenser pressure PC, and work is produced by the system as refrigerant liquid expands isentropically in the turbine from condenser pressure PC to evaporator pressure PE. All the processes are both internally as well as externally reversible. That is, net entropy generation for the system and environment is 0.